The U.S. national debt passed $30 trillion this year, and the spending continues as in an act of bipartisan kumbaya, Republican senators join with the Democrats to pass a $1.7 trillion omnibus bill. Are voters singing the same tune? The U.S. national debt is now more than $31 trillion. How concerned are you about the size of the national debt? 76% of voters are concerned, including 53% who are very concerned. Only 5% are not at all concerned. Is that high or low? Well, we polled midterm voter issues all year, and this ranks in at about a distant 8, with the top issues being taken by violent crime, energy policy, gas prices, inflation, the economy, illegal immigration, election integrity, and national security. Younger voters are less concerned than older voters, especially when comparing very concerned numbers, which is funny since they're going to bear a lot more of the consequences of our debt. Men and women are about equal, and white voters are about 12 points more very concerned than voters of other races. But here's party. Republicans are 15 points more concerned than independents, and more than 20 points more concerned than Democrats. But this still doesn't make it their top issue, believe it or not. 67% of Democrats are at least somewhat concerned, which again is a lot of Democrats, but this is far from their top issue. 92% of voters who strongly disapprove of Biden are concerned, but only 59% of those who strongly approve of Biden are concerned. Congress recently passed a new $1.7 trillion spending bill. Do you approve or disapprove of the new spending bill? 45% of voters approve, 24% strongly, and 50% of voters disapprove, 37% strongly. These numbers seem pretty mixed, but a plurality of voters do disapprove, which makes this pretty unpopular when compared to other legislation passed by Biden. Keep in mind that voters generally like bipartisan agreement and also just kind of don't like disagreeing with things. Race and age numbers are pretty uninteresting, but men are 14 points more in favor of the Omnibus bill than women. 53% of women disapproved and only 45% of men. But here's party. 73% of Democrats approve, but only 42% strongly. 14% of Democrats strongly disapprove. What to make of those numbers? Well, the bill has worse marks among Democrats than Biden does. It's strongly approved of, 12 points less than Biden, and at least somewhat approved of, 4 points less than Biden. Independents are pretty against this. 40% of independents approve, but only 19% strongly. 54% disapprove, 40% strongly. Republicans are much more against this bill. Only 21% approve, 11% strongly, but 75% are against it, 58% strongly. You'd expect these numbers to be wider apart for Republicans, given how concerned Republicans are with debt overall. But keep this in mind. Republican senators put this bill over the finish line, and Biden actually has a 20% positive approval among Republicans. Want to see a bigger spread? Only 11% of those who strongly disapprove of Biden approve of the omnibus bill, and only 4% of those who strongly approve of Biden disapprove of the bill. Do you agree or disagree with this statement? The $1.7 trillion spending bill is a monstrosity and a disaster for our country. Now, this is a bit more of a primed question, for sure. It gives the respondents a little more to work with, and voters like generally agreeing with things. But the outcome here is impressive. 61% agree that the omnibus bill is a monstrosity and a disaster for our country, 45% strongly. And keep in mind, only 50% of voters were against it in the previous question. Only 32% of voters disagree, 19% strongly. By party, 80% of Republicans agree and only 17% disagree. 59% of independents agree, but also 46% of Democrats. Only 46% of Democrats disagree, so they're actually perfectly split. But here's the punchline. Those are statements made about the bill by former President Donald Trump. So 61% of voters agree with Trump's take on the omnibus bill, including 80% of Republicans, 59% of independents, and even 46% of Democrats. So what does this mean to me? It's now been about 12 years since the Tea Party revolution of fiscal conservatism raged through Republicans. The country has acquired many more seemingly urgent problems since then, and government debt has increased a whopping $20 trillion. Clearly, our government's ability to continue to spend has exceeded the Tea Party's expectations. Voters are concerned about debt, but not in the immediate and urgent way they are about other issues. But again, for an important lesson in public opinion, compare question number 2 to question number 3 and notice the change once a little bit more leadership is thrown into the mix. What do I personally want to poll on next? Mitch McConnell had a 34% favorability rating among Republicans in November, and only 6% of them had a very favorable opinion of him. I wonder how that opinion has changed since his involvement in passing this omnibus bill. If you want to find out, please subscribe to our channel so you won't miss my video. Please hit the like button as well, and don't forget to leave a comment if I miss something big. And thanks for watching.